Hello. Just had a battle of wills to try and get here on time. Oh, stay with me. Hey ho. Right, okay, got my happy t-shirt on, feeling happy today. Happy. We're going to do red light reflex today. Let me just sort my hair out. Vanity. Red light reflex today. So front of the body, I'll probably do this all week, different variations. So once people start coming on, then I might start rambling away a little bit more than normal. We're not rambling away, but you know what I mean. Telling you what we're supposed to be doing. Actually, I might just see. I can't remember how to do this with this. No, you can't tag people, can you? No, I'm not very good at this. Just ignore me. Talk amongst yourselves. Say hello if you're there. I can see one person. Yes, so red light reflex today, and the red light reflex is all these tight muscles in the front of your chest. Hi Tina, I thought it might be you. Tight muscles in the front of your chest, tight muscles in the groin, back of the knees, front of the ankles, and if you see if you round into the red light reflex, then your head sticks out because your head's trying to stay forward facing. But if it gets too bad, then it starts tilting from the back, then you come forward. But we're just talking about tight muscles in the front of the body, in the abdomen. So you get back pain when you stand up because the muscles in the abdomen can't lengthen properly. Yeah, so red light reflex today. So let's get rid of that pain. Let's retrain our muscles. Let's lengthen them. Let's get them back to where they should be in our old age, my old age. Take my glasses off. Now I can't see anything. So if you write a comment, I will be able to see it, it'll just be a bit blurry. So write a comment if you've just come on, if you're joining in, if you're not joining in, but you just want to say hello. If you are going to do this another day, maybe, if it's your first time watching. Yes, anyway, say hello. So the first thing we're going to do is our arch and curl as usual. Normal arch and curl. Arch and curl is just like a rounding and a forward and back. So a forward and a back in the shoulders, and the same in the pelvis. So we're just tilting forward and back. I'm going to move over a little bit, but we're going to do it lying on the floor. So it's this movement, arching, curling. And then we're going to lengthen our psoas muscle. So our psoas muscle connects into the inner thigh, onto the femur of the inner thigh and up into the spine at the back. So it comes up through the groin into the spine and it pulls us tight forward. So we need to try and lengthen that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to lengthen our legs down the mat. So I'll demonstrate that in a second. What else we're going to do? We're going to do our light bulb arms, which is where we spiral above our chest. We do that lying down, so I'll show you that in a minute. I'm just looking, there's a numbers flashing up before me. So what else are we doing today? We are doing our legs forward and back to lengthen our groin, get our groin muscles softening and lengthening, getting the right signals. And we are going to go on, what else are we doing? We're going to lie on our backs and do my favourite where we lift our pelvis up, and we might do one more where we tilt side to side. I'm just going to show you the things that I'm rambling on about. So we'll do our arch and curl, so you can just watch while my pelvis tilts. That's the arch and curl. The pelvis tilts forward and back, arch, curl, and then we're going to lengthen our psoas muscle. Actually, we'll do our arms side to side, and you can do them with a hug. And you see me, you hug them in, or you can just do, I'm just going to go down a bit more, or you could do it with wide elbows. We are going to do psoas muscle lengthening, which means we're going to lengthen our leg away. We're going to really focus on how we do that, lengthening our leg away. And the lengthening will happen when your elbows are wide. So you can do it without arms or with arms. We're not going to bring our knee up, we're just going to focus on how we lengthen, because we're going to tighten into the groin when we bring the pelvis into an curl. Sorry, I'm a bit behind in my thinking because I was just trying to help my child sort their computer out, so I've run down here. And then we're going to do legs apart, as wide as the mat. And we do our first walking move, which is where we keep one side of the pelvis still, we don't move that side, and we send the knee across. And then we come back up again, we send the opposite knee across, and we're trying to keep our pelvis from shooting up into the air, because we want to go, the knee go across, tilt the pelvis forward rather than it going up into the air. So that's our aim, and eventually we're aiming to tilt the pelvis enough that we can get our knee down towards our toe, rather than just dropping it towards the opposite knee, just going like this, side to side. So our aim is a forward movement of the knee, and we'll build into that. Then we're going to do our arms above the chest, twisting the light bulb. We're going to do this movement very slowly, then we're going to take it down gently to the sides and do it there. And then we're going to stay on our backs, and we're going to do our one leg down, one arm by our side, reaching away. Should we do that first? Actually, what we might do is do our reaching, where we reach up to the sky and then we reach over. So we're going to get a bit of our trauma reflex twisting, but what we're going to do is we're going to reach and we're going to push into our foot and twist us over. So we're going to do that one, I think, because that's a nice fluid movement. So we're lifting and we're arching into our back and lengthening across the front and twisting at the same time, which will get our red light reflex. And our trauma reflex, we're just going to get all of them. And then we'll do our leg arm side by side, where you put the arm out into the corner of the room, one arm by your side, and you reach the arms away, alternating arm reaches, one by your side, one out into the corner of the room. If you can't do it in the corner of the room, you just lift your shoulder up to your ear, so you lengthen the side. And then we push up as we reach, but we push up and we send the knee forward and we lift up into the air, so we're getting this lovely lengthening in the groin and opening in the chest. So remembering, this is all really for the front of the body. Obviously we get lots of other areas in, but we're doing our red light reflex, and our red light reflex is for the front of the body. So, hello. Hi Kim Mitchell. Hi Angie, if you're still there. If you're not, well, maybe you'll be watching this another day. So I'm going to just check the time. We're all right for time. We're starting at 6. If anybody wants to comment or say anything. Hi Fiona. Lovely to see you on a Tuesday night. Hope you're joining in. What else am I going to say? Yeah, it's very hot in this room. It's making me a bit high. So let's think about starting. So if this is your first time, then we do a body scan, we lie down, we just stay inside our bodies, we look at what's going on, we see what differences are going on, we're going to look down the front of our body, we're going to breathe into the front of the body and lengthen the muscles in the front of the body, just using our breath, slow our nervous system down. Hi Sue. Slow our nervous system down just to start, so that all the messages we're giving our muscles are going to get to our brain, vice versa. We're going to send the signals along the nervous system rather than just going in a loop to each muscle that keeps the muscle short. So that's why we do all our breathing and our relaxation and our softening at the start. So we do that. There are subtitles on. No, what does that mean? Does it mean it's talking? What, is it writing while I'm talking? God, what that means, I don't know, Tina. Oh! Have I pressed something I shouldn't have pressed? Let's have a look. No, that's not it. Somebody tell me what I need to do to get rid of subtitles. That's weird, isn't it? Is it translating for me? It's probably because I'm speaking so fast. It's gone mad. It's because I've got manic. I've got manic talking and it needs subtitles to translate for you. Oh God. Can you hear me though? Can you hear what I'm saying? So when I was lying on the mat, if you were listening, could you hear? Tina. Because it doesn't matter if the subtitles are popping up, does it really, when I'm lying on the floor? That's just me rambling away. And you having to just translate. Oh, it's okay now. I've slowed down. That's funny, isn't it? Somebody that talks as fast as me, you have to put subtitles up. You can't see them. Okay. Maybe it's just Tina's. Maybe she's got a super duper translator going on. Anyway, so let's get started. I'm going to get rid of the comments. So any comments that you put up now, I'll see afterwards. Oh, you can hear me. Thank you. Great. Thank you, you two. Fiona and Tina. Right, I'm going to get rid of the comments. I'm going to lie down and then stop doing such speed talking. Oh dear. Right. I haven't even had that much coffee. So I'm going to slide down so you can see my shoulders and my arms. So I might be off the mat a little bit. Put the flesh away. Oh. And calm. You don't need me being slightly nuts, do you? You just need me to be calm as well. So let's calm down. Let's soften everything. Let's rest everything down into the floor and let go. So scanning the front of the body. So let's start at the feet. So have a little flex and point of your ankles. Just get a feel for what your ankles are doing. How much they bounce or don't bounce. I've got quite weak ankles now. So mine have a good old bounce, ratcheting. So have a little look at that and then travel up the front of your ankles, front of your legs. We're looking for softness, we're looking for tightness. And have a good look around the groin, the front of the abdomen, the upper thighs, around the hips, into the muscles at the side of the hips. We're looking at all the areas that would pull us tight, the inner thighs. When we sit for long periods of time, unless we're doing man spreading, our inner thighs, our muscles are switched on. So that's why we get tight in that area, tightness in the side of our bodies. So this is what we're aiming to do today, lengthen that area. Travel up through the abdomen, have a good look, maybe have a little arch and see how much your muscles lengthen when you breathe in. Up into the rib cage, watch your breathing, notice what areas move and don't. Notice how close your shoulders are to the floor, the chest, how open it is, how much your arms will let you roll out or not. Anything that travels down the arms, into the elbows, into the wrists, front of the forearms. Maybe your fingers curl up tightly and you're holding them in fists. Have a little look at that, have a little stretch to see what they do. Come up into the chest, the neck, the face, around the ears. See how your jaw's holding. And up into the top of your head. And then just have a little quick scan down your back. Check it out, see how it feels on the floor. And then we're going to bring our legs up. So slide the knee out to the side, place the foot on the floor. Same on the other side, line the feet up and then soften everything in the neck, the back. Just check that you're okay, you haven't squashed into any areas now. See, check out your inner thighs in this position. See how switched on they are. So they're holding the legs up from falling out to the side, so they're on all the time. So have a mind of that when you're doing stuff, how much they switch on and off. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, slow it right down, slow the out breath. Soften the jaw. Breathe into the front of the chest. Up into the neck if you can. Just see what happens in that area. Just feel how it affects that area to breathe into the muscles in the chest. Do they move out of the way? Do they lengthen? Do they soften? Do they let that area move? Does it hurt? And then travel down the front of your body, just breathing down a bit further each time. When I say breathing down, you might already be breathing down, but it's just where you're taking your mind's eye. And just looking at an area for a little while, expanding that area with your breath. Till you get down into your lower abdomen. Focus on your pelvic bones at the front. Down to the pubic bones, to the groin, to the front of the thighs, down underneath, to your tailbone. Everything expanding. You want to get as much length and breath into that body as you can. Get as much oxygen in, slow the nervous system. As soon as you feel ready, starting to think about arching gently on the in-breath, tilting the pelvis forward. Remember that bowl of water, if this is your first time, bowl of water sitting on your abdomen, tilts forward as you arch your back gently, comes back to level as you come back. Water would tilt if it was stuck to your pelvis, and water would tilt out onto the floor in front of you, between the legs, down to the feet. Probably not in the first few movements, just tilt a little bit. Investigate your lower back, keep softening, watch what happens at the front of the body, anything happening in the groin, in the front of the thighs, the connections there around the side of the hips, up into the abdomen, up into the rib cage. Make sure your lower back's happy. And then in a very small way, I'm going to start coming into a curl. So this might be tiny. If you've been doing this regularly, if you did a few classes last week, you might go quite happily into this. For your first time, then take it slowly. No bouncing or jumping. Your pelvis might tilt a centimetre forward. That might be it. And then come back, and then you might just tilt a centimetre in the opposite direction, making sure nothing hurts. Don't push into any pain. Don't let any bouncing happening. Get full control of this. So we're arching, curling straight away. Very small, some of you. Some of you might be getting bigger already because you've been doing a lot of this in your spare time. Just arch and curling gently, building into it. Don't worry too much about the shoulders at the moment. Unless you're happy to carry on, you can carry on. And bring your shoulders in. If you're not happy to bring the shoulders in, wait a little while. I haven't brought mine in yet. I'm just focusing on my abdomen and how long it feels. Feels a bit like lengthening. It's lengthening happily. Right up to my rib cage, down to the front of my pelvis. My right side is not hurting, which is great. We always love it when my right side doesn't hurt. Well, you don't, but I do. I love it when my right side doesn't hurt. And my body's already saying, come on, bring the shoulders in. So I'm going to lengthen back, watch the chest open, push my shoulders into the floor as I arch my back, bring them forward gently, back to neutral. Don't want to rush ahead. Keep my jaw soft. Feeling around my neck. My neck's a little bit, having a little grumble. It's saying don't go too far. So I'm going to watch that. Yeah, so when I bring my shoulders forward, when I let go, they're bouncing already. So I need to just be mindful of that. I might change my arm position a little bit. Might not make the pelvis move is so strong while I'm working on what the shoulders are doing. So I think I didn't say at the start, but I think because it's the red light, we'll build into the flower. So you could start rolling your arms in a little bit. It does help with the chest, control the chest movement if your arms are a bit more active. So you could bring the arms in, make sure that they're softening and lengthening gently as well. Make sure your upper back's okay, your lower back's okay. Keep softening that jaw, maybe watch the chin movement, that it's not, that you've got control around the neck as well. So if you're building into the flower, your arms can roll into the side a little bit. Some of you that'll be easy to control. Some of you with frozen shoulders or shoulder problems or neck problems will have to watch that a little bit, rolling those shoulders in. If you're arching your back and your arms are opening, then your palms will be facing up to the ceiling. They might rotate over onto your thumb eventually if your shoulder blades come underneath and tuck together. Make sure you're not rushing ahead to that. You might actively roll your arms in, roll them up your body really close. That's a very tight chest. You might not be ready for that. You might bounce back, so make sure you can do it gently. And if everything feels all right, There's no bouncing, there's no pain. Then you could start opening your knees as you open your arms. So as your arms are turning over, palms facing up, the knees might gently start to open. Just be wary of what I said about the tightness in your inner thighs, because they're holding your legs up. So you're kind of asking them to do two things. You're asking them to stabilise you now and then lengthen. So it is a bit of a stretch for them. Not literally. Well, maybe it is. It's not. And then, so have a mind's eye on the inner thighs when you start lengthening. Remember your bottom is shortening on the outer glute muscles around the side of the pelvis as you do this movement. You will be lengthening the psoas muscle in this position, which is the one I talked about that connects to the inner thigh and into the spine. So have a little bit of awareness of that movement. You're not overdoing it. So all the flower is, as a movement in itself, it's opening the whole front of the body by pushing into the floor with the back of the pelvis and the shoulders, opening the arms, opening the knees, and then bringing them all back together, gently squeezing the knees together, squeezing the chest together. Now, every variation of that lengthwise could be happening to you. Could be hardly any movement at all very small and controlled, or you might be opening really wide. If you're hypermobile, you're somebody that's really bendy, don't force any of it. Don't try and force into your ultimate positions knowing that you could really open. Don't get to that point where it feels like it's becoming a stretch. Now that signal might not get to you very well, but just have some awareness. You could open really widely. You could open beyond what we're talking about, but don't. Just give your muscles some nice signals that this is the positions you want them to be in, and you're going to do it gently and softly. So we're going to do a couple more rounds of this. Doesn't matter where you've got to, you might just still be arch and curling in the pelvis. You might just be arching. So just going to do my last one, and then I'm going to let go and lengthen down. Rest into the floor, soften, soften, soften. Let go. Couple of breaths doing nothing. Make sure you get those in before you start up again. So I'm going to bring my legs back up. We're going to go to the chest. We're going to do our either hugging across the chest of modification, because I can't be there to watch what you're doing, so this is an easier way for me to know that you're all right. Just hugging across the chest as we arch and curl, or fingertips by your ears or your forehead or wherever you want to put them, and then elbows coming across. We're going to get those side chest muscles. We've been working into the longer ones, so we're going to go opening out horizontally. So we're arch and curling, and we're bringing our arms across our chest. So my body's great. It's feeling like I've been doing a lot of work last week with the somatics. So 3 or 4 classes teaching you and actually doing it rather than watching you. It's really having a good effect on my body. Everything's reacting much quicker. So my arms are touching the floor straight away. I don't have to think about the chest muscles. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for these changes, these shifts, this softening, this kind of, even if you don't start quickly, you know, even if you're not straight into a move, it comes quite quickly into a bigger movement with control, no pain. So arch and curling, try not to use your feet. Go back and check that nothing's dropping, there's no pain. Keep it small if you have to concentrate on the chest. Breathe in as the elbows open, breathe out. If you're hugging, same thing, breathe in, breathe out as you hug across the chest. Breathe in as the back of the arms come down to the floor. You don't have to bring your arms down to the floor. It's quite strong, the forearms. You can if you want to, but I wouldn't. I would keep the elbows bent and just bring the arms down, because we're not really concentrating on the length of those arms, and that's quite strong through the air. Keep the jaw soft. Make sure when you're squeezing that nothing's bouncing as you open. Have a little check on your rib cage, maybe have a little feel of your diaphragm. Have a look inside your body at your diaphragm, lengthening it shortly. Upper back, check between the shoulder blades that they're not uncomfortable, they're not hurting, you're not stretching anything in the back of the arms. Slow it down if you feel like you've speeded up too much. If one side's not as in control as the other, maybe focus on that, leave one arm down, just bring the other one in for a little while, see what that's doing. So wherever you've got to, we're going to do about 4 more. So it doesn't matter if it's a big movement, a small movement, because we're going to do some more chest stuff in a little while. So I'm making this the last round. I'm going to bring my legs down. Soften into the floor, bring the arms a bit close to the body if they've got a drift. So if you have to keep looking up to watch what I'm doing, probably best if you just watch the videos through before you try it, if this is your first time. If you have to keep looking up, then maybe watch it through a couple of times, watch one of the other videos, do the 7-day challenge that you can find on here to break the moves down one at a time. So rather than just keep lifting up and looking at the screen, because that's just setting your nervous system back off to be in fight or flight, which then takes it a while to settle down again between each move, then you're not getting the benefit of these signals, these synapses firing up properly. So we're going to bring our legs up. We're going to either do this with flower arms, so you can roll the arms in and out at the side, you can do them crossing over the chest, or you can do them fingertips by your ears, and then we're just going to gently, as we arch, take the elbows wide. I'm going to curl, and then as we arch, we're going to lengthen our leg down. So make sure you don't lengthen until your spine has gone back to neutral. You're going to bring it up as you're flattening. Leave the foot there and then curl. So we're not bringing our knee up. We're going to keep it nice and soft for the start of the week. Lengthen the leg down. Look, I'm starting with my right leg. Doesn't matter what leg you choose. If you're sort of floundering about thinking, what leg did I say? I'm starting with my right leg. I didn't say it. And then we're going to open our elbows, lengthen our leg down, starting with a neutral spine and arching as you go down, or just waiting to arch at the end. And then coming back, foot where it started before you go into a curl. So this is a nice slow process. You don't have to go all the way down to start with. The back of the knee is not very happy to lengthen, then be mindful of that. Another red light area, the back of the knee, because it tightens as the pelvis tucks under and you get shorter hamstrings from the red light, from sitting. So I might not want to happily lengthen to start with, so be kind to it. Try and slide the foot up rather than dragging it through the air, because then that switches your muscles on in your groin and your abdomen. We don't want that, we want to lengthen them. So everything is done on the floor. Foot stays on the floor, lengthens down, comes back to where it started. Slow it down. You've done all the other moves, you've done the arch and curl, you've done the arm opening, so your brain's already in control of those things if you did them properly, gently, kindly. So just give yourself your focus into your lengthening in that right hip. It might be a left if you started before I told you which leg I was doing. Feel how the pelvis tilts forward on that side. We're lengthening in the groin, lengthening at the attachment to the thigh. Because it's doing a different thing at the back. Be mindful of your lower back as you arch. It's quite strong in the lower back. That's why you need to make sure you do it on neutral and as you're arching, the legs lengthening, or it's already long. So we're going to do 2 more on this side. I can't see you, so some of you might be doing it with a knee up, that's fine. I know a couple of you will be. That's absolutely fine, as long as you're okay and you're watching what you're doing. So we're going to rest down, lengthen our legs down, and just soften, let go. You might feel like that leg's a lot longer now, you're softer through the groin on that side. And then we'll go for the other side, so whichever leg you started on. So I'm doing my left leg. You might change the arm position for this one. You might just reach, you might think I'm going to leave the shoulders out for a little while, or just roll them in at the side, that's up to you. So I'm going to do flower arms, which is the arms down by the side, for this side. So arching and curling a couple of times, seeing how you're feeling, get the arms involved, and then start lengthening the leg down. Keep coming back to the breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. I'm going to be a bit quieter on this side. Try not to push in the feet. This one kind of lends a little bit more to your feet wanting to join in to get the momentum of the pelvis tilting into the curl. So just be mindful of that. You're not pushing into the feet, you're using the abdominal muscles. Then the leg along its heel. You could flex or point the toes, you can investigate that if you want to as you go up and down. What the toes feel like they want to do. They probably want to point as you go down, and maybe flex them before you bring them up again. See how it feels down the leg. You're lengthening the back of the knee when you do that. If you're watching this and you're seeing that I'm bouncing a bit, it's because my foot's going onto the carpet and it's a bit lumpy. So I'm having a bit of a bouncing going on. I am watching how much control I've got. I'm going to do 3 more. You can carry on a bit, it's up to you. You could finish now. So I've done my last one. I'm going to rest my legs down, do nothing. Notice if I've equaled up or that side's gone longer than the other side. And the leg, soft, 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 do nothing. Try not to move your head around too much. You might want to loosen it up if it's been in the same position for a while, but try not to lift it up. So we're going to go to the arms. Bring your legs up. Feet normal position, feet on the floor, hip width apart. And then we're going to bring our arms up into the air, above the chest, palms facing each other, sink the shoulders back down into the floor, soften the chest muscles as much as you can in this position. Nice soft upper back, nice soft chest, jaw, neck. And then we're just going to start twisting the arms from the shoulders. So we're just turning the backs of the hands towards each other and then coming back to palms facing each other. You might open out a little bit more, just do that mindfully. So we're tightening into the chest muscles and then we're opening them out again. So feel that in the chest muscles to start with. So watch that they're in control, that they're sunk back into the floor, that you're not reaching up into the sky. You don't want to put any pressure on your neck muscles in this position. If you're feeling in your elbows and your arms, then start watching that for a little while. Once your chest muscles are okay, maybe you're doing it in a smaller way, then feel into your elbows and your arms, your forearms, your upper arms. If that feels okay, then you can start playing into the wrists a little bit. So as your arms open, so as the palms come through the middle and the thumbs turn to the back of the room, then you could send the wrists back and open the palms and spread the fingers gently. And then as you come back the other way, you could bring your hands into a pincer kind of with the fingers pointed, or into a fist, might be a little bit too strong. And then vice versa, but do it gently, do it slowly, watch what's happening. Feel whether your palms are happy for that to happen. Back of your arms, back of your wrists. Still making the movement come in from the chest as well, because it will probably come a bit more from the wrists if you start focusing on the wrists. And you might find you're not doing as much in the chest. And you want it to be about the whole arm at some point. Notice which side's worse than the other side. If you've got a trauma reflex, my right side's not doing much of anything. Up into the right shoulder, it's kind of going, not happy about this position. It's not painful, it just is not quite in the right position, and I can feel that in this position. You need to bring your arms down, bring them down. In fact, we're all going to bring our arms down. Let's just do 2 more. Bring the arms down. Slowly, slowly, slowly undo the chest, bend the elbows, rest the arms down. Bring the knees down if you want to, or just drop the knees together. Couple of breaths doing nothing, slow breathing. And then I'm going to take the arms out to about 60 degrees to the body. And then we're going to do that same thing in that position. Some of you might not be able to go that high, then bring them to sort of wherever's comfortable. It might only be 20% away from the body, 20 degrees away from the body. And then we're just going to roll the arms forward. Feel how that feels in your chest. Investigate first. Roll back the opposite way. In fact, let's bring the legs up. Sorry, I didn't bring my knees up. Let's just make sure my back's soft. Bring the knees up. Place the feet on the floor. Roll the arms forward and back gently like you were doing in the air. Do it from the chest first to see what's happening. Feel how the shoulders feel. Might want to bend your elbows a little bit to give a little bit slack in the shoulder blades. We're just opening and closing the chest. Muscles, drawing them forward, letting the row come back again. So investigate that before you start thinking about your hands and your arms, and what they're doing and how much they're rotating. And then you can start making it more of a spiral along the whole arms and opening the palms as your chest opens. Some of you might want to slide your shoulder blades down your chest, down your back. So we're doing this without an arch and curl today, so we can really focus, look at what's happening, not overdo it. If you've got a problem area on one side, you might want to leave one arm out for a little while, focus into that arm. So I'm just going to have, because I said about my right arm feeling a bit strange, I'm just going to have a little focus in there and see if I can work on lengthening those muscles in my chest that don't like to play ball or shorten through years of salsa and being dragged about by partners that they don't really know what they were doing. So now I know what's happening in my right arm. I'm not going to rotate it as far as the other side because I can see that it doesn't like it. So I want to make sure that that's okay. So then I've got full control over both sides. They don't have to be equal, doing exactly the same thing. You're using your breath, breathe out as you rotate the arms forward at the shoulders. Breathe in as you rotate back. You can use that to help you expand. I'm going to do 3 or 4 more. My arms have started getting higher and higher, up to towards 90, that's all right, it doesn't matter. You could, that's great, isn't it? It just means your muscles are lengthening under the armpit, the ones that we'd like to lengthen anyway, so that's good. And then I'm going to rest my arms down, rest my legs down, let go. Do nothing. Soft, soft, soft. Check the time. Let go. So we're going to go up to our groin, we're going to do walking legs. So the first one we're going to do is bringing the knees up, feet as wide as your mat, or if you had a mat, as wide as what the mat would be. Take your feet, slide them along the floor, away from your bottom. And then very gently, keeping the left knee high, we're going to do 3 moves on the right side. So we're just going to send the right knee over towards the left knee, maybe slightly forward of it, and then feel what happens at the side of our pelvis and feel what happens in our groin when we bring the knee back up. Just do it a couple of times more on the right. Feel into what's happening in your bottom, your pelvis tilting. So we're not pushing into the foot or doing anything else, we're just letting our knee go down the middle. Try to take it forward at the front of the left knee. The left knee just stays up in the air where it is. And then we come back to the start. And then we do the left side. So see how it feels on the left side to tighten in the inner groin, inner thigh. Bring the leg back up, release the inner thigh. What's happening on the outer thigh, the bottom, waist, lower back. Bring it back up again. Do it one more time on the left. We just want to see what's happening. And then we're going to start alternating. So leave the knee where it is every time the knee's not moving. It stays where it is, it doesn't drop out the way. Your pelvis is tilting over and forward. It's tilting towards the midline and forward and then coming back. Settle that pelvis down before you go again. So sending the knee over to the opposite side, preferably forward of the other knee, as if you were trying to aim it towards the big toe. You put your hands on your pelvis if you feel like everything's popping up or you're not sure what's happening. Give some feedback. You can put it on the side of your pelvis, you can put your hands on the front of your thighs if you wanted, but that tightens into your chest, so just be mindful of that. So the opposite leg always stabilises, it doesn't go anywhere, it just stays where it is. It will tilt back in the pelvis, hopefully, unless you're really tight. And then just start thinking about that knee going forward. So you're tightening into the groin, front of the abdomen, drawing that pelvis diagonally forward and down. Not trying to lift it up into the air by pushing into the foot or anything. And you're making sure that the outer thigh and the waist are all happy to let you do that. There's no pain. That your groin's okay doing this. If it isn't, you'd only be taking the knee marginally, a couple of centimetres across. That might be enough to tighten into the inner thigh and then lengthen it. Need a little tilt in the pelvis to remind the muscles that they can let go at the back. Some of you might be able to take the knee right down to the opposite foot. If you can, great, as long as you can control it all the way back and let go of the inner thigh back to where it started. And you're not letting that other knee fall out to the side. So if I was in class, I would stand by those people, stop them being able to let that knee fall out to the side. You know who you are. I'm going to do a couple more of this movement. If you're doing it with a breath, you're breathing in as you send the knee forward. It does help to tilt the pelvis, especially if you've been doing your arch and curls first. And then we're going to let go. Bring the feet a bit closer together. Drop the knees in. You can stay in that position or you can bring your legs down for a couple of breaths. So now we're going to do the one that sends the pelvis forward in a tilt, not diagonally. So bring your feet up to where you would normally have them in the crooked position, arms by your side. You can have them on your thighs if you want to. If your fingertips just touch your thigh, that's okay. As long as your elbows are rested down, the upper arms are rested down, you're not switching your chest muscles on. So your feet are hip width apart. You can check that by sliding your feet across, bringing them back out again. Some people think they've got very wide hips. You haven't, most of you. So we're going to send our right knee forward. We're not arching, curling. Send our right knee forward, push into the foot and come back again. So I've gone a centimetre, I've gone hardly at all. You're going to do the same on the other side. Push it into the left foot, send the knee forward. You should feel the right pelvis push into the floor and then come back again. So I'm not pushing into the foot to lift my bottom off the floor. I'm sending the knee towards the toes on the same leg. So my right knee is going towards my right toes. I'm doing it very slowly, seeing how my groin feels to let go in the front. And then my other side of my pelvis is just pushing down into the floor. So I'm keeping this very small. And then I'm controlling that knee back. It's all about that control back. Don't make sure your lower back, your pelvis when it pushes down on the opposite side is okay. If you've got SI joint problems, sciatica, lower back issues, you're just being really mindful of this, that you're doing it in a very small way. When people do this in class, they try really hard to send their knee really far forward, and you don't need to, because that will happen eventually as everything softens. So you start in a very small way, you watch the inner thigh, you watch the outer thigh, you watch your bottom muscles, lower back, and you're just sending your knee forward, and then you start building it up into more of a rhythmic movement. So you're coming back, letting go, sending the other side forward. I haven't done this for a while, so my brain's taking a little while to reconnect with this. Watch your sacrum, your lower back, at the bottom of your spine, pushing in. There's a very tight joint there, but it can move, so it'll probably feel a bit spongy in that lower back where it's trying to move, and it'll probably try and ricochet you back because it is so taut. Lots of fascia, ligaments. So very slow, very controlled. If you're watching this, you've probably seen that it doesn't look like I'm doing anything, but if you try and just watch my knee movement, one's going forward of the other, and I'm pushing into the foot at the same time. If it's difficult, then slide your feet further forward away from your bottom and try it in that position. I'll probably find it's a bit more jerky to start with, but you'll probably feel that you can get a little bit more into the movement with your pelvis in a slightly different position. Try and let go of the groin on the opposite side every time the knee goes forward. It's very slow, very controlled, a lot of concentration. These are the moves that wear you out, make you tired. So this can speed up as long as you've got control. There's no bouncing and no pain. So we're looking to lengthen in the groin at the hip flexors. So already I feel like I've got more control and I can let go quicker. Movement's got a little bit bigger. So I'm going to do a couple more on each leg. And then we're going to let go. Bring the legs down gently. Soften into the floor, do nothing. So we're going to have a little change. We're going to do, we're not going to do the move that I said because it takes a bit longer than this other move. So what we're going to do is we are going to bring our knees up. Both of them up. I did say at the start we were going to do the one leg long, one leg, but we're not going to do that today. So all we're going to do is we're going to play into what we were just doing a little bit and tilt. So we're just going to get into our waist muscles a little bit today, but we're still thinking about the front of the groin and the front of the shoulder. So we're going to do a one-sided kind of arch. So all you're going to do very gently is push it into the foot, send the knee forward on the right, lift your bottom up, press your right shoulder back. That's all you're going to do. and then you're going to come back down again. So it's all about control here. And then we're going to do it on the other side. So pushing into the foot, lift the bottom up, push the left shoulder back. I want you to look to the right shoulder this time and go as high as your body will let you go into that arch in the back, and then come back down again gently. Don't overdo it so you bounce all the way back down. You want to control yourself down all the way to absolutely neutral. Nothing switched on, no calf muscles. And then we'll do the other side. So pressing the foot into the floor, tilting the pelvis this time so it's not the same as the last move. Push the right shoulder back into the floor, tilt the head to look to the left side. Keep going till you can't go any higher, because it might be your groin or the front of your thigh that's stopping you, or the thought of coming back down again. And releasing everything really gently and slowly. Other side, pushing it into the foot, sending that hip up into the air. Your pelvis is going to tilt over, pressing that left shoulder back, looking over to the left shoulder. Just doing this in a very small way. Your knees going forward still, but your bottom's coming up in the air. And then in your own time, just playing into this. Pressing the shoulder back, make sure, because everything at the front of the body is opening as you tighten the back muscles. And then we're controlling everything back down and we're lengthening the back muscles. So this plays into the green and red light, but that's okay because they're reciprocal. They do the opposite thing, so we have to work into both to a degree. Slowly back down. Make sure your knees are back in line. And then start thinking about the breath. So breathe in as you go up. Expand along the side of the body that's up in the air. Come down gently. Breathe out as you come down. Feel the back of the leg muscles slowly beginning to let go. Bottom muscles, lower back, shoulders, neck. Make sure that everything's back where you started. Check your inner thighs aren't hanging on for dear life. This is very slow, very controlled, big movement in one side of the body. You're tilting onto the other side, so be mindful of that other side, that the pelvis is okay, the shoulder's okay. If it isn't, you don't go so high. If you need to, you can bring the arms out and bend the elbows a little bit. Send the knee forward rather than tilting it over with the pelvis. You might have to do one thing at a time, so looking all the way along the body. I'm just doing the lower part, then I'm getting into the upper part on the side of the body. Squeeze the bottom muscles if you need to help you lift up. Some of you might not be able to engage with the bottom muscles for this. It might just be all about the back of your leg. If it is, watch that. Try and engage with the bottom muscles. It might be the first thing you switch on, squeeze them first. That'll help you. So I'm going a bit too high for my right side, so I'm going to make that smaller the next time I go up. So have that awareness. Don't try and turn it into a competition where they're both trying to do the same thing on each side. And if you wanted to, you could just do this on one side for a little while. So I might need to concentrate on my right side for a little while. Maybe do 3 rounds of just focusing on the right side, not going up so high. Check in with your breath and your jaw. Make sure everything's softened back to where you started. That might mean you don't go to the other side straight away. Wherever you've got to, we're going to do 2 more each side, or one side that you're working on. Try not to let the opposite knee fall out, fall open. When you've done your last round, let go, sink into the floor, soft, 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 let your legs down. Let go, just feel how that feels through the whole of your body. Often just watching your breathing will tell you what the changes are. So do a couple of slightly deeper breaths into your body in this lying down position. Just watch how the front of your body expands into the groin and the chest. You might find your whole body breathing now, all the way through the torso, up to the ears, down to the groin, without any having to look at it, it just does it. When you've done that, go back to your ankles. Have a little flex and point again like you did at the start. See if there's any changes there. And then when you've done that, come up through the legs. Just looking at the front of the body, around the knees, thighs, groin. Travel up your body. Check out those areas that were a bit iffy, a bit suspect, a bit sore. Not feeling quite right. Make sure you check out your jaw, in front of your chest, neck, face, around your ears. Top of your head, you might just feel it doesn't feel so tight. Your face. And then travel down the back gently. Feel all those spots along the way, in between your shoulder blades. And then just resting gently, doing nothing. If you're planning to stay there all evening, then stay there all evening. Enjoy yourself, fall asleep, do nothing. If you're not, then think about wiggling your fingers, toes, getting some movement back in your body. I like to squeeze my bum muscles, give them a little bit of side to side rocking. And then moving your arms, bringing your knees up if you're going to come onto your sides. Keeping your head low still. Just enjoy the benefits of that nervous system being slow. Rest on your side. Come to sitting when you feel like you're ready to, pushing up with your arms. Coming up slowly with your head. If you're staying down on the floor, have a lovely time. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see. If you're sitting up and you want to comment, because you can see your screen, then comment. If you don't want to comment, don't comment. If you've got to rush off, rush off. If you're watching this for the first time and just taking it all in, great. I hope you enjoyed watching it and you're going to have a go. I was just wondering, are people wearing headphones when they're doing this, earbuds to do it? I don't know, just interested to see how loudly you can hear this or not when you're listening, or if it's just for the whole family listening as well. Or maybe you're just putting, I don't know what you're doing, who knows. It'd be nice to see what you comment. Maybe not now, or just later, or whenever. I'll be putting this to YouTube, so if you've got anybody that needs this and you want to share it with them and they haven't got Facebook, then direct them to YouTube. I think there's a link on this Facebook page. Otherwise, have a lovely evening. I hope you're all staying safe. I'm getting a little bit fed up with it for now, but hey ho. But I got some eggs this morning, so I'm happy. And I'll see you all tomorrow. And we'll carry on with this red light. We'll do some other moves based on the red light, maybe the one we missed tonight, and some other ones. All right, so lots of love. Have a wonderful evening and take care.